In this feature, I'm going to explain to you how Jomo Kenyatta, who was the first president of Kenya, changed his names 6 times during the course of his life. The first name that Jomo Kenyatta used was Kamau wa Muigai. Kamau was his first Kikuyu name, while Muigai was that of his father, a farmer and a herdsman. However, after the death of his father in childhood, Kenyatta's mother remarried to his father's younger brother, a typical Kikuyu custom at that time. His father's brother's name was Ngengi wa Muigai. Kenyatta changed his name to Kamau wa Ngengi. That time he changed his name was when he was baptized at the local Church of Scotland, later known as the Presbyterian Church of East Africa, in 1913. He had joined a mission in 1909 to undertake studies in English, math, and carpentry. He had enrolled at a mission to study catechism, which led to his baptism in 1913. He had chosen the name John Peter for baptism, but was advised to choose one. He chose a combination of John Stone. Stone is in reference to Peter and the fact that Jesus had earmarked Peter to be a foundation stone for the church. Perhaps he foresaw a time when he would have a role in the leadership of Kenya. Jomo Kenyatta was later to spend part of his life in Narok between 1915 and 1918, where he had gone to escape mandatory conscription into the army during the First World War between the British and the Germans. It was in Narok where Kenyatta, by virtue of wearing a beaded belt called Kenyatta or Light of Kenya, adopted the name Kenyatta by virtue of being called so by members of the public. He stuck to that name. Later, Canon Musa Gitau, who knew Kenyatta well since 1909, said Kenyatta would almost get physical if he was called by any other name other than Kenyatta. Then, in 1922, he adopted the name Jomo to add on to Kenyatta. Jomo means burning spear. The time that Kenyatta changed his name was when he traveled to Britain to represent the interests of the Kikuyu Central Association. In 1932, Kenyatta traveled to Moscow. He was given the name James Joken to cover up for his activities in Moscow. It was in Moscow where many African leaders and instigators were trained both in military and socio-political themes in subverting colonial authority. The name James Joken to hide his movements from the British intelligence services. His visits to the Soviet Union was funded by the KGB, who funded his stay in Moscow. Security services were following up on his every move. However, they lost interest and had no report to make. From London were intercepting all telegrams and communication between Kenyatta and pioneer Africanists like George Padmore. It should be noted that when Kenyatta came back to Kenya from Britain in 1946, he fully adopted the combination of the names Jomo Kenyatta. It is these names that ushered him into the politics of the country Kenya. I would appreciate if you could kindly subscribe, comment, and even give a like. Thank you.